friends, this is Miss Brack. I am here today to teach you a little bit more about time. Our learning target today is I can tell time to the hour and half hour. You're probably wondering, why is it so important for me to learn how to tell time on an analog clock? It's important because you don't always have your digital clocks with you. In school, we don't allow you to have your phones normally, and we only have our analog clocks. You never want to be too early or too late to things, so it's important to tell time with an analog clock and a digital clock. Before we learn time to the half hour, we're going to review time to the hour. So, this is called an analog clock. Remember, time is made up of minutes and hours. There are two hands on a clock. The long hand is the minute hand. The short hand is the hour hand. When the minute hand is on the 12th, that means your minutes are 0. And then your hour hand, whenever it's time to the hour, is normally pointing at a specific number. That's your hour. So the time on this clock would be 1 o'clock. You would write it like this. So you start with a handy dandy thing called a colon. A colon is basically 2 dots. Its job is to separate the hours and the minutes. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to identify the hour. The hour on our clock is 1. So the 1 or the hour comes first. Then you're going to write your minutes. Since our minute hand is on the 12th, we know that our minutes are 0. So we don't just put 1 0, but we need to put 2. And that says 1 o'clock. And if you want to write it with words, you would say 1, and then you have to put an O and then an apostrophe, then clock. 1 o'clock, and that's the apostrophe I was. Now let's look at time to the half hour. We know that it takes 60 minutes for the minute hand to go all the way around the clock. So half of 60 is 30. Whenever my minute hand is on the 6, that means you have 30 minutes. Okay? Then you'll notice whenever the minute hand's on the 6, the hour hand is in between 2 numbers. This is the hardest part about telling time to the half hour. So, what you have to do is you have to think about which hour did my hour hand pass. So, one strategy that I use is I back it up. So I'm going the opposite way. I'm not even going to show you. So I make 2 o'clock. So I'm at 2 o'clock. Now I'm going to bring it back to my half hour. Watch it as it moves very closely. So which hour did it pass? Did it pass the 2 or the 3? It passed the 2. So we know that our hour is 2. When writing time to the half hour, what you're going to do, the first thing that you're going to put is your hour. We already identified that our hour was 2 because the hour hand passed the 2. So we'll write our hour first, and then we write our colon. Remember, the colon's job is to separate the hours and the minutes. Our minute hand was on the 6, and we know when the minute hand's on the 6, that means that there's 30 minutes. So we put 30 on the other side of the colon. So that is 2:30. Or you can say 2:30. Now that we've learned, now it's time to practice. So we're going to practice by playing. What time is it? Ready? What time is it? So, make your best guess. Okay, So we notice that the minute hand is on the 6, and that automatically tells me, oh my goodness, that's a half hour. And then look at our hour hand, which is the smaller hand. It's in between the 2 and the 3. We have to think about which hour did it just pass. I know that it just passed my 2. So I know that it's 2:30. And I would write it like this, 2:30. Or I could write 2:30. Let's look at our next one. Okay, make this one a little bit harder. Okay. Ready? What time is it? Make your best guess. Okay, so we notice that our minute hand is on the 6, which means it's a half hour. Remember, whenever the minute hand is on the 6, that means our minutes are 30. And then our hour hand is in between the 8 and the 7. So we have to think about which hour did it just pass? So I'm going to look back. I'm going to think, which way does the clock go? Goes this way. It just passed the 7. So I know my hour is going to be 7. So I'm going to write it. I know my time is 7:30. Or I could say 7:30. Let's do another one. We're getting warmed up here. Ready to go. Okay. We'll do this one. This one's going to be a good one. Okay, ready? What time is it? Make your best guess. Okay. So we notice that it's a half hour because we're focusing on half hour. Also, our minute hand is on the 6. Our hour hand is in between 2 numbers. It's in between the 10 and the 11. So now we have to think about, which hour did my hour hand just pass? So I'm thinking the clock goes this way. So I'm going to go, it just passed the 10. So I know my hour is 10. So my time, putting my hour and my minutes together, is going to be 10:30. So it would look like this if you wrote it, 10:30. Or you could say 10:30. Let's do 2 more. This one's going to be really hard. This one always trips me up. Ready? What time is it? Make your best guess. So we know it's a half hour because our minute hand is on the 6, and then our hour hand is in between 2 numbers. But notice it's in between the 12 and the 1. I know that the 12 is bigger, but I have to think about, which hour did my hour hand just pass? So I'm looking. It goes like this. I know that it just passed the 12. Not the 1, but the 12. So I know that my time is 12:30. So it would look like this. 12:30. Or you could say 12:30. Okay, last one. Ready? What time is it? Make your best guess. Okay. So we notice that our minute hand is on the 6. That means our minutes are 30. Our hour hand is in between the 5 and the 4. If we're thinking about which hour that our hour hand just passed, we go, it just passed the 4. So we know our time is 4:30. So if we write it, it would look like this. 4, then our colon, then 30. Or you could say 4:30. I hope this helped. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. Bye!